Now on Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. An immigration sweep in the Crossroads leaves over 20 people detained. What led to their detainment? That's just ahead. And a nonprofit is looking for volunteers to help be a voice for children. We'll share how you can get involved. Plus, the powerful fury of Hurricane Erin slams the East Coast with towering waves and life-threatening rip currents.
And I hope y'all enjoyed yesterday's rain, because coming our way both Friday, Saturday, and even Sunday as well, we got more rain in the forecast with maybe even some heavy rain possible. We'll have all that in the weather coming up.
The one top softball signing happened here in the Crossroads. We'll let you know who that is later on in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and happy Friday. If you're planning to be outdoors today, you may want to double think that, or at all this weekend. The next coming days, we're going to have some precipitation.
Yeah, we actually got some more decent rain chances in the forecast, so keep that umbrella handy, because that's not only coming after yesterday's rain, because it was a very nice day, I think, for most of us out there. I think most of us could agree. And actually, what y'all are looking at right now on your screen is a picture of a shelf cloud that was sent in from one of our viewers. This is from Paula Jo Garza. Thank you so much, Paula, for this picture of this beautiful shelf cloud. You can actually see some of the shelf cloud details, some scud cloud trying to reach a little bit further down to the ground right here at the bottom, and you can actually see all the really heavy rain. See how it's really dark right there in the back? That's some heavy rain. And let me tell y'all, this is over Matagorda County. It's actually more specifically over Oyster Lake, which if you look at on the map is right about here, just south of Palacios. But if you look just north of Palacios, where that shelf cloud was traveling, they got up to 2.5 to 3 inches of rain. So I hope y'all are doing all right down there. You can see everybody else saw an average between 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches of rain, which is right on the money for what I was expecting yesterday. But looking at radar this morning, you can see it's pretty clear over our inland counties, over land. Over the water, though, that's a different story. Got a little bit of thunderstorms out there, so send us a picture if you got any pictures along the coast of these thunderstorms. Otherwise, if you're traveling towards Houston this morning, make sure to be careful. Got a little bit of rain forming up that way along 59. Temperatures this morning, everyone's nice and a little bit cooler thanks to the rain yesterday, low 70s. So if you're sending your kiddos out the door, grab the sunglasses. It'll be a bit sunny in the morning, but a bit rainy in the afternoon. We'll have those details next.
An immigration sweep in Victoria ended with over 20 people in custody. ICE with local and state law enforcement conducted the operation Tuesday. Officers approached several people on foot who fled, including one who ran into a local business. With permission, agents searched the property and found about 15 undocumented people. Another 12 were arrested trying to escape. In total, 26 people were taken to a federal processing center, and one man faces criminal charges for illegal re-entry. The Golden Crescent Court-appointed special advocates are looking for more volunteers to advocate for children in need. A court-appointed special advocate, or CASA, is someone appointed by a judge to work with children in foster care, children who can't stay safely in their home. Golden Crescent CASA serves Victoria County and 7 surrounding counties. They need about 30 more volunteers to help serve in the Golden Crescent region.
It is so vitally important. It's not only our mission to use these trained volunteers to advocate for the children and families that they serve, but it is also our goal to make sure that every child and family has that dedicated volunteer. It's so very important, and we're working really hard to make sure everybody has ample representation.
Snead says it's a long process to be appointed, but it's worth it to help a child find the best possible home. An information session will be held next Wednesday at 1 O'Connor Plaza for anyone interested in learning more. The Texas Senate Committee has advanced the GOP redistricting bill ahead of the full Senate vote. The Texas Senate Committee on Redistricting voted Thursday to advance House Bill 4 to the full Senate with a favorable recommendation. A controversial Republican-backed proposal, which passed the House in an 88-52 party line vote on Wednesday, aims to redraw the state's congressional map and produce 5 new GOP-leaning districts. The Senate will convene at 10 this morning. State senators adjourned last night after passing a bill establishing new standards aimed at preventing future flooding and disasters at campgrounds. The bill comes after tragedy struck the Hill Country on July 4th. affecting several campgrounds, including Camp Mystic, where 27 young campers and counselors died. At least 135 people were killed in the flash floods that struck the area. Several still remain missing. Hurricane Erin is slowly moving out to sea, but it's still a threat to the U.S. East Coast. The massive storm is well offshore, but it's generating strong wind and dangerous surf. In the western U.S., the concern is record heat. ABC's Lionel Moyes has the latest.
Overnight, Hurricane Erin continuing to batter the East Coast, churning up waves 20 feet high. Lifeguards on New York's Long Island racing to save a surfer slammed into rocks by the powerful surf. A state of emergency declared in New Jersey. Along the shore, the rough surf plus high tide flooding coastal communities. In Ocean City, Maryland, cops helping push this car stalled in high water. The storm predicted to weaken throughout the day as it makes its way out to sea, but the threat for dangerous rip currents remains, from the Carolinas to New England. Many beaches on the Atlantic coast remain closed today, including in Ocean City, where officials are warning people to stay out of the water.
Typically what happens is the ocean will clean up a little bit. It won't look as scary, but you can still have, because of the storm surge and all the big waves, you can still have very, very dangerous rip currents.
The storm brought strong swells to North Carolina's Outer Banks, flooding homes and washing out roads. Crews now working to clear water and sand from Highway 12, the main route running along the islands. And in Emerald Isle, volunteers are scrambling to save any remaining sea turtle eggs after many of their nests were destroyed by the hurricane. Meanwhile, in the West, a different problem.
It's hot. It is hot. It's brutal.
Residents in Southern California now facing the summer's most dangerous heat wave. The high temperatures, along with extreme drought and windy conditions, fueling wildfires throughout the state. In Napa County, the Picket Fire already burning more than 2,000 acres and is 0% contained. Evacuation orders now in effect, including for several wineries. And that heat is expected to last throughout the weekend, from Portland to Phoenix, where temperatures could reach 111 today. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
The public may soon have access to unreleased files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The Justice Department is set to start releasing them to the House Oversight Committee today. The panel will check the redactions and then make the files public. In a July memo, the Justice Department argues further disclosure isn't appropriate. It says the files contain sensitive information about victims. Remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. The time now, let's take a look. It is 6:38 on our Friday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. We take you to stunning views and a jaw-dropping eruption captured on camera. And the redistricting battle continues. California's governor taking action against Texas. Their plan, that's after the break.
And also coming up next after the break in the short-term forecast, you heard me say we got more rain chances for the weekend. So coming up next, I'll tell you just when I think all the rain will be here.
Here's a look at what you can expect on Community Crossroads. We hear from the Victoria Symphony, Main Street Goliad, and Gonzales Main Street.
Right, you don't get Texas without Gonzales. If you don't get Texas, you don't get, California, you don't get New Mexico, Arizona. All these things happen because, because of Texas.
Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Friday. I hope y'all are as excited as I am for the weekend, because coming our way this weekend, we've got more rain in the forecast. And seeing where it's all coming from, we're going to look at satellite, because you can see on satellite, you see this light cloud deck all the way down in South Texas. That is forming along that outflow boundary that we've been talking about all week long. You can see it right here. A lot of thunderstorms forming right along the immediate coast. It's over the water right now, so that's why we're not looking at the radar. But that actually surged out ahead of this stalled cool front you can see up in North Texas, spanning all the way through the Mississippi River Valley and into the Dixie Alley states. This outflow boundary right here is just another type of frontal boundary, which is good because there is always lift along any kind of frontal boundary, whether it's a warm front, an occluded front, anything. So that's going to stay on top of us for the next few days and bringing us more continuous rain chances. Today, Friday, and Saturday are both going to be at a nice 50%. So I'd recommend the umbrellas, I'm thinking, because looking at your future tracker, time to get it all out. Morning time going to be looking mostly sunny, so also grab your sunglasses. But by noontime, we'll pick up to partly cloudy, I'm thinking, and also by noontime, from noon all the way up until 6 or maybe 7 p.m. on Friday and also Saturday as well. That's when our chance is going to be best, 50% for some scattered showers and thunderstorms forming around our counties. And some of them could be heavy. Like I said, sometime around 6 or 7, rain activity should die off and we'll be looking mostly clear for overnight tonight with a 30% chance in the overnight early morning. Because like I was saying earlier, if you see any heavy rain, you might see up to 2 to 3 inches with any heavier thunderstorms, so be careful. And we're going to have that chance with us all the way into next week with more rain chances. We'll look at that and the tropics next.
Happy Friday here, Crossers, and I can't believe we're only 1 week away to start here our football season, and we'll have our first live show coming up there next Friday night on KVU TV at 10:35 p.m. But for today, though, we're going to highlight a top softball signing that happened with former Shiner senior out there, and Chloe Pulisic, who committed to play softball at Shriner University. And Pulisic there helped out the Lady Comanches go 30-6 overall in the regular season and reach back-to-back 2A Division II state championships. But they would lose last year to the Sundown Rough Reds there 9-8. But with that in mind there, again, for Shiner there and head coach Jason Keller, they're looking to kind of get some revenge going into this season. She's going to be back there for her senior year, so see how she does. And again, congrats again for committing early out there to Shriner University to play at the next level. This is Max Williams, 25, News Now Sports.
We want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can stream our daily newscast and much more using your connected TV. Just download Crossroads Today Plus on your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. The battle over voting maps is intensifying as Democrats and Republicans take steps to redraw congressional districts. Here's Jacqueline Lee with a report from ABC.
California Governor Gavin Newsom signing 2 redistricting bills Thursday afternoon, bringing the redistricting showdown to California voters in a November special election.
We're not just identifying a problem, we're actually trying to solve a problem. And it's a problem of their making. This is not an election we expected to be holding on November 4th, but they shot the first bullet.
The measures in response to Republican efforts in Texas to redraw its state congressional district maps and pick up 5 additional House seats ahead of the midterm elections. California Republicans pushing back on the projected $200 million cost for a special election. States typically redraw congressional maps every 10 years after the census to adjust for population changes.
President Trump and Republicans in Texas and other states are attempting to redraw congressional districts mid-decade in an effort to rig the upcoming election.
In Texas, the state Senate is expected to vote on the proposed congressional maps bill as soon as Friday. The bill already passed the House, and if Republicans succeed, it would head to the governor's office for signature. Texas Democratic lawmakers initially fled the state to prevent a vote on redrawn maps, but were forced to return. Texas Governor Greg Abbott adding proposed legislation to the special session that would punish legislators who deny a quorum, saying in a statement, "We need to ensure that rogue lawmakers cannot hijack the important business of Texans during a legislative session by fleeing the state." Now, other Democratic states like Illinois and New York considering getting involved.
As we look at the analysis of states that are weighing their options in terms of redistricting, I'll tell you, elections experts tell us that there are more opportunities for Republicans to redistrict than there are opportunities for Democrats to successfully redistrict ahead of midterms.
Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We want to know, do you support California's special election on redistricting? 48% of you say yes, and 52% of you say no. We also have some new responses from y'all on our viewer poll. This is from Eddie Rendon of Inez. He says it's time for Texas to go blue. And we have another response from y'all. This is from Sarah of Rockport. She says, not at all. Does this mean the great state of Texas will be next and be remapped? And will this affect landowners? And we have another comment here from Scott Snow of Victoria. He says that Newsom needs to go. How much more do Dems need to bankrupt California before the state's citizens wake up? Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer polls. Don Brubaker's week-long journey through the Northwest takes us to one of the country's most iconic landmarks.
Howdy friends, we are here at the Grand Tetons in Wyoming. Before we talk more about that, one last note on our trip to Yellowstone. It's about the world's most famous geyser. It's called Old Faithful. It could be called an amazing miracle. You see, it was named in 1870 and was the first geyser in the park to be named. Old Faithful has erupted every 44 minutes to 2 hours since 2000. Eruptions can shoot up to 8,400 gallons of boiling water up to 185 feet. Our holiday vacations group was there for 2 eruptions. The longest was over 4 minutes. And here we are with Linda Halapaska from Victoria. Got to ask you first, the biggest and best thing you have seen on this tour?
It is absolutely gorgeous. It would be hard to choose between the 3, the Grand Tetons, the Glacier, Yellowstone. It's absolutely gorgeous. Cannot believe how pretty it is. God's world.
Thank you, Linda. And from the Grand Tetons, I'm Don Brubaker, KVUTV 25 News Now.
The time now, let's get a look at our clock. It is 6:48 on a Friday morning, still to come on Sunrise. What a federal judge is ruling when it comes to a controversial detention center. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Steven. Happy birthday. Enjoy your day. Love from your big ol' familia.
Oh, that sweet picture. Happy birthday, Steven. And also happy birthday to Anna Yee. Happy birthday, Nani. Cakes. Love from Mommy.
Happy birthday to Alexa. Happy birthday to my favorite little sister.
Happy birthday, Alexa. And also happy birthday to Peyton. Happy birthday, Peyton. Love from Mom, Dad, and Sophia.
Happy birthday to Andrea. Happy birthday, I love you from your loving family. May you have an amazing day.
Happy birthday, Andrea. And also happy birthday to Esther. Happy birthday, Esther. We love you from Ellie and Burr. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, you can come to crossroadstoday.com. Just click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
All right, the time is now 6:49. Happy birthday. If you're celebrating one today or this weekend, we'll be
right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure a lot of you saw this 7-day forecast a few moments ago, and you saw the rain chances. They're still staying nice to us for the next several days. We're talking daily rain chances above 30% all the way through next Thursday, maybe even through Friday and next weekend. You can see going into Sunday and Monday over the next few days, chances will drop to 30% from 50%, and the sun will come out a little bit more. That's going to heat us all up to the mid and maybe even upper 90s. So it'll be a little bit hot, but a little bit of chances for rain before that picks up to 40% for Tuesday and Wednesday. Chances these days will rise because of another cool front that will be sinking south through the country. And this one has a low 20% chance of maybe passing through the Crossroads as we go into late next week. So don't get your hopes up or anything just yet. Keep your fingers crossed, though. Maybe we'll see something. But going into the weekend time, you did see the rain chances will dwindle a little bit and the sun was coming out. That is coming from this high pressure system moving overhead. It's going to be moving quite literally right over our heads as we go into Sunday and Monday. That should dwindle our rain chances back to 30%. But then there's this upper level low that will come out of Canada. That will swing a cool front through the country, and that will pick up our rain chances back to 40% for Tuesday and Wednesday. Now in the tropics, we're still tracking Hurricane Erin. It's a Category 1 right now. Winds are sustained 90 miles an hour. It's going to continue moving out into the deep Atlantic, so we don't even have to worry about that anymore. What we are going to worry about over the next couple weeks is this wave and maybe this one that's going to come off the South American coast. We'll, of course, have more on that next week and more later on Sunrise.
A federal court has just dealt a major blow to Alligator Alcatraz. Judge Kathleen Williams issued a preliminary injunction that bars the facility from accepting any more detainees. The ruling comes amid a lawsuit brought forward by environmental groups and a Native American tribe. They argue the camp harms the fragile ecosystem of the Florida Everglades. The judge's order also demands the removal of newly added lighting, fencing, generators, gas, and sewage lines, bringing operations at the camp to an effective halt. Hundreds of CDC employees are now losing their jobs after a court ruling shielded some but left many unprotected. The American Federation of Government Employees confirms at least 600 workers have received termination notices. The Department of Health remains silent on the latest developments, only pointing back to a March statement claiming the cuts aim to streamline health agencies for greater efficiency and responsiveness. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. An update from yesterday's parole hearing for one of the Menendez brothers. The Menendez brothers, Eric and Lyle, who murdered their parents in 1989, had the opportunity to be granted parole this week. In a bid to show that they are now suitable for release, Eric, 54, appeared before the board Thursday but was denied. He'll have a chance to pursue parole again in 3 years. Lyle, who is 57, will appear this morning. The U.S. has agreed to limit tariffs on some EU imports, pharmaceuticals, lumber, and semiconductors. They'll be taxed 15%. That's according to Thursday's agreement. The president had threatened EU pharma tariffs up to 250% and semiconductor tariffs up to 100%. Wine and spirits were excluded from the deal. As students across the region head back to class, we're celebrating the start of a new school year with your first day photos. Those entries are open for about 11 more hours. They're open until 6 p.m. today. And we want to invite y'all to experience your new digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And if you have a lunch date today, you may want to pack an umbrella because it's going to be raining. Parker.
Yeah, there is a decent chance for rain right around noontime, lunchtime, so I might maybe recommend the umbrella, but our best chance is going to be afternoon all the way up until about 6 p.m., so the true afternoon, the whole afternoon. In fact, looking at your Victoria live camera this morning, you see way out in the distance, I've been holding it on this camera hoping to see another strike of lightning, because you see this right here, these cloud tops, these are shooting like 40,000 feet high. In the air, these are some thunderstorms over the Gulf waters this morning. We'll look at that radar here after this because we're starting out the day at a nicer 71 degrees in Victoria, all thanks to the cool, rain-cooled air yesterday. 70 degrees is our dew point, so still pretty humid out there, but not enough for fog. But like I was saying, you see over the coast this morning, over the Gulf waters, we got some thunderstorms happening out there, but nothing really in the inland counties just yet. Maybe just a couple scattered showers happening, trying to form over Matagorda County, and also a little bit happening near Houston, so be careful traveling that way. Otherwise, like I said, rain today, I think between noon to 6 or 7 p.m., so grab the umbrella. Highs today only in the low 90s thanks to the rain, just like yesterday. And the same thing for all of that in Victoria, and the same thing for all of that today in Cuero. So keep the umbrella handy because I think it's going to be a bit of a rainy one for today, maybe tomorrow as well, maybe Sunday, and maybe, well, all of next week.
All right, thank you, Parker, and thank y'all for being with us. Join Shauna, Dawn, Maclovia, and Max tonight for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. And don't forget about CFL. Have a great Friday.